No Answer Productions presents. Anyway, we have a nice little Viscount cassette recorder. I got it in a estate sale a week ago today. And it's a very interesting, very retro looking recorder. Now I don't want to go through too long describing it. You know, it's just going to make the video like uber duper super duper long, you know. But it's a Viscount Model 162 cassette recorder, and uses 4C batteries. And they were smart when they made this, because they put a little hinge thingy on there so you wouldn't lose the battery compartment. And here's the battery thing. But then as you can look inside there, and you can readily see the AC bias circuitry right there greeting you. That is the AC bias circuitry. There's a bias adjustment trimmer, and there's the AC bias coils behind in there somewhere. And you can also see the belt drive. Look in and see some electronics, so that's a pretty cool thing. The work I had to do to it was, well, it needed a new belt. I didn't have a belt of the right size for it. So I got a braces rubber band and put it around the motor spindle. And that gave it enough traction to run the machine fine with the old belt. The only problem is the speed is a little bit faster than normal because the diameter is larger because of the rubber band around the spindle. And also there's just a little bit of flutter, not very much, but just a little bit of flutter in there because the unevenness of the rubber band surface around there. But the flutter is actually not that bad. Not very much. It's not very much flutter. But anyway, all the original capacitors are good in it. Now I didn't fix the fast forward. The fast forward is very, very weak, so it will not fast forward, but it does rewind. And although it doesn't always want to rewind at first, the reason why is because whenever I start it in rewind, both spindles are turning, and there's a considerable amount of force on this one here. But then whenever I kind of stop it with my finger and boot back a little bit, it frees up and it can turn fine, and then it will rewind with no problem, as you can see. Also, this recorder is AC bias, not DC bias. See, Clydesight has a light blue colored version of this with a built-in radio as well, and he thought it was just DC bias. But no, it actually turned out to be an AC bias recorder. And I've proven that. Not only I've seen the bias oscillator circuitry, but I put a voltmeter and AC across it. Got about 8.5 volts of AC voltage at about 40 kilohertz. So, and I've also tried to run the tape fast across the head, and I was able to record the bias sound. So it is AC bias. So I have some recordings, and then also here's the original microphone to it. It's a Japanese made recorder, and I've talked way too much. Okay, so we'll be to make a recording on the machine. So unfortunately the on-off switch turns off the entire unit, not just the motor, so I can't just set the level with the thing like that. So I may modify it later to turn only the motor off, but not right now. It's hard to do it with one hand. I want to try to there. Managed to hold the camera with my chin. Okay. Now, this is manual level control, and he uses a level light, which is a very inferior way to show levels. And I think that when it lights up, it's overdriving. So you want to do it where it's barely lighting up. Too many times I've made recordings on this recorder, and I would make it so the light's lighting up, so I know it's picking up. And then the recordings come out all overdriven and distorted because it was too high. So let's turn the volume down, and we're making a recording on the Viscount model 162 cassette recorder. If I yell into it, it'll overdrive. This is how it sounds, overdriving. And the level set all the way up, and I'm speaking at a distance, and it proves to be quite sensitive. As you can see, it is overdriving already. Even if I speak rather quietly, it still lights up the light a little bit. So on window, you would think it would be open across the entire thing, but it only lets you see through just that middle portion where the cassette is. Of course, see, rewind, I have to kind of... There it goes, see. Now I still need to put oil in there because it squeals when it rewinds. Handle. It's as far in as it goes. See, I can't fast forward. I can try to fast forward. It's not strong enough. It needs a new belt for the fast forward part. I don't care as much about fast forward as I do rewind. There. Managed to hold the camera with my chin. Okay. Now, this is manual level control, and he uses a level light, which is a very inferior way to show levels. And I think that when it lights up, it's overdriving. So you want to do it where it's barely lighting up. Too many times I've made recordings on this recorder, and I would make it so the light's lighting up, so I know it's picking up. And then the recordings come out all overdriven and distorted because it was too high. So let's turn the volume down, and we're making a recording on the Viscount model 162 cassette recorder. If I yell into it, it'll overdrive. This is how it sounds, overdriving. And the level set all the way up, and I'm speaking at a distance, and it proves to be quite sensitive. As you can see, it is overdriving already. Even if I speak rather quietly, it still lights up the light a little bit. So it's a classic old recorder, probably from the late 60s or the early 70s. Okay, now the window, you would think it would be open across the thing. That's how it recorded voice. Gosh, this video is long. And also notice this cosmetic piece here is missing on that knob.
You may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yeah, that's been happening to me countless times today. I've been trying to get a hold of my friend. He won't for once answer the freaking phone. Now this is a song I recorded using this recorder. Well, of course it's not my song. Of course. I'm now recording with the Viscount model 162. Let's see how this sounds. This is how the recorder records music. Very nice. Classic old recorder. I hope you enjoyed this video of this recorder. It's quite an interesting and very retro looking recorder. Perhaps some movie people would probably love to have it as a prop in a movie because of the styling. But I think recorders shouldn't just be used for show and nothing else. If a recorder is just going to be put there, say, as a prop, or if it's going to be on display in a museum, they should, one thing, be owned by somebody, and second, they should be used on a regular basis. They should actually be operated and demonstrated and not sitting there collecting dust just so people can look at them without even seeing the thing work. You know? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh yeah, if there's anyone that agrees with me that and that machines should not just sit, if they're at a museum, for example, they shouldn't just sit being unrestored, but that they should actually be restored and operated. That, if anyone agrees or disagrees, just leave a comment. I remember there's a museum that I went to, and gosh, this video's long. And it had like an old machine to record on discs, like an old disc recording machine, like from the 40s or the 30s or something. And it was an unrestored, as is, dusty, bad shape, sitting there on display. I think what they should do is they should restore the thing, demo the thing, and have it operating for people to see. That would be a lot better.